while.
Hi, it's Paul and Angie here from Greenwood Farm, and today we're going to be showing you how to make some homemade ginger beer. Delicious. I love ginger beer. I think it's probably from when I was a child. My dad loved ginger beer, and every Christmas we used to have to leave ginger beer out for Santa Claus. I always thought that was strange that Dad liked it and Santa liked it as well. Anyway, one day it clicked, and I think the gene inside me said I love ginger beer as well. So after drinking gallons of it, I've decided it's probably best if I learn to make it myself, and it's a really simple recipe. All you need to make it is some sterilising powder for the bottles, a couple of empty bottles. Fortunately these ones did have ginger ale in them, generous amounts of ginger, some castor sugar, a couple of lemons, a little bit of honey, and some brewer's yeast to help ferment the brew. Okay, to start off today, I've already used a sterilising powder and sterilised 8 bottles, enough to carry 8 litres of fluid, and so we're going to be making enough for 8 litres. You can divide this down, but I find 8 litres gives me enough to last me a couple of weeks, and it's just a beautiful brew on a hot day. The first thing we want to do is, and the most time consuming, will be to shred the ginger with a microplane. Get yourself a good quality microplane because that's going to make the job a lot easier. And some fresh brewed ginger. Okay. The other thing that I've done is, for the ginger you'll need about 8 tablespoons. So I've gone a little bit heavy with it. I don't mind having a bit too gingery if it need be. 4 lemons. So the juice of 4 lemons, I'll just do one more of them now. It's pretty simple. Once I juice them, I run the lemon through a strainer just to get out of all the pulp and pip and seeds, so you don't want that in your mix. It'll just help the whole process of blending the ingredients together. So you can let that sit there for a couple of minutes and just drain through so you can get nice clear juice. Okay, beautiful. Okay. With the brewer's yeast, I buy the home brew. You get it in 5 gram sachets. 5 grams gives you about a teaspoon, which is exactly what we need for 8 grams. So I've got that in a little sachet here. And the first thing we want to do in our mixture is blend the sugar, the dry ingredients, the sugar, along with the brewer's yeast. So we'll put that in, give it a good stir so it's mixed up well. You'll find that the better you mix it, the more consistent your blend is going to be. And once we put the other ingredients in, we'll give it a good swirl around to dissolve it all. Okay, that's good. Now to mix the wet ingredients, we'll put the lemon, the honey, there we go. Give them a good little stir. And they can go in with the sugar and the brewer's yeast. And finally, the ginger. You will get quite a bit of pulp and a few little bits in it that might not be so flavoursome, but once we actually brew it and we go to pour it, I always pour the ginger through a strainer and you'll get a beautiful clear fluid. Mix that really well together, as well as you can, just to get the whole thing settling and brewing and blending together. And then we'll add our water. You've got a nice real paste for it. The whole ingredients come together really well. The longest part of the whole operation is actually microplaning the ginger. So if you get a good microplane, you'll do really well on that one. 8 litres of water. Give it a bit of a stir as you go along the way, just to help dissolve the sugar and blend all the ingredients together. Very sweet and gingery. Okay. More stirs. I've used an old container from my son's whey protein. It's a good, nice shape. It takes the 8 and it's actually easy to work with and easy to sterilise.
And he gets big muscles.
And he gets big muscles. Five. Six. Seven. And 8. Keep the container handy because we'll use this to pour the brew into the bottles. Give it a little bit of a taste. I mean, if you like it, it'll be quite sweet. If you don't like too much honey or too much lemon, you can adjust for flavour. The lemon's important just in the brewing process, but you can add or reduce. And if you have other flavours you want to put through there, you can try them as well. I find that if I keep stirring it as I pull it out, then it gives a nice consistent fluid so that you don't have one bottle with more of a mixture than the other. These are 1.25 litre bottles, and I'll put just about a litre in each bottle. There we go. And what you'll find is you want to allow a little bit of room at the top so that as it ferments and expands, and what you'll find happen is that this top part here, as it becomes more gaseous, will get very, very hard. We'll put this in the warm area, and every day I'll turn it once, twice, 3 times. Do that twice a day, and after 3 days it'll be ready to refrigerate. Give it another stir. What you will find is that when it's fully fermented, when you go to open them, you'll need to open them over the sink, and just a little at a time, release the cap to let the gas escape, tighten it back up if it starts to foam up, and just do that for a few seconds until the initial bubbles have gone, and then it won't spill over and get everywhere in the kitchen. Otherwise you'll have a nice sticky mess to clean up on your first attempt. Okay, bye for now, and we'll come back to you when it's fermented, and we'll have it over some beautiful ice on a hot sunny day. Bye.